name is Carlos. Yeah, I'm 32 years old. I started in the world of video games when I was 15, actually, and I was playing World of Warcraft, actually, first professionally. Became the first player to actually start making some money off of this venture of esports, and started traveling the world and negotiating my own contracts with the teams I was playing in, negotiating contracts with different brands, just that would pay me for visibility, but it was very, very small. Like I remember at some point just getting paid 50 euros a month. It would just make me very happy, But as you can imagine, the beginning of esports, which is video game competition, wasn't that pretty, A lot of shit trips, a lot of, to go to America, I need to take 5 different flights, and I would sleep together with other 20 people. But it was joyful. It was very enjoyable, and I learned a lot, actually, in my days as a pro player. At some point, I changed from World of Warcraft to League of Legends, and in League of Legends is where my career just took off. I was a mid laner, actually. And the moment I started playing the game, I joined a team, I became the captain of my team, and I started negotiating all the contracts of my team. And we ended up joining a nice team called SK Gaming, which is even to this day alive. While I was a professional player, won tournaments, lost tournaments, but built a career that people knew me for, I also, was a content creator. So back in On3D times, which before Twitch TV existed, On3D was the largest platform. I was the largest streamer in video games. 30,000 concurrent viewers, which back then was insane. Even to this day, having 30,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch is a really big deal. But back then I had these 30,000 concurrent viewers while I was also competing, and while I was also closing my own deals, breaking my own contracts, and you name it. I built my career this way. And eventually, as I realized that my skills as a player were starting to be overshadowed by the 17-year-old, 16-year-olds that just, they just get so good so fast, And they're learning from people like me, which are getting older and they're faster. And, eventually you have to say goodbye to your professional career. But always in my head, more so than a player, I was a competitor at heart. And more so than a player, I was an entrepreneur and a businessman at heart. Even when I was a player, I was just, as I said, negotiating my contracts and making a name of myself beyond playing video games professionally. That's when I founded G2. G2, maybe known by some people by G2 Esports, some others by G2, ended up becoming what today is considered the largest or the most relevant esports organization in the world. I am no longer the CEO of that organization. I was the CEO for 10 years. And since last year, I'm no longer the CEO. But I'm still, as a founder of that company, I, of course, still own a large portion of it. And even though I'm not operationally involved, it makes me very happy to see that all the work I've deployed into hiring good management and making the company sustainable is now paying off dividends. Because without my presence, the company is thriving, and that makes me very happy. But ultimately, many people know me for my career in gaming, in video games. G2, the company I was just talking to you about, was very well known for good community management, which is a boring word, but ultimately what we're very good at is building a fandom, building a fan base, and making people just be insane fans, that would do anything to, for us and defend us and watch us play. And at the same time, we're very good at creating haters. So it was like 50% of the gaming community would love us, 50% of the gaming community would hate us. And that would make us the most watched team in every single game. Now, our goal from day one was to entertain, kind of like a gladiator in an arena that wins, hopefully. But if he loses, the Caesar never does like this. But the Caesar keeps the gladiator alive. Why? Because not only is he able to fight, but he's able to fight in a way that's entertaining. And he is the one that just makes everybody roar and it makes everybody come to the Coliseum, to pay to watch him fight. And that was G2. And in a way, that is also me. Pertaining my, what I would consider myself knowledgeable in majorly community management, content creation, and connecting with people, relating with people, and understanding what's going to be good tomorrow. Understanding what's good today and loved today, and understanding what will be good tomorrow and loved tomorrow. Which leads me now to Shiba Saga. So Shiba Saga is actually, after me stepping down from G2, the first project besides the Circle, which I'm sure many of you have heard about already. The project that has, given me a lot of pleasure just thinking about and thinking ambitiously about. I would see myself, as I was getting exposed to the project from very early on, having dreams about what this could become. As you guys probably expect, my job in G2, I was being exposed to a lot of Web3 opportunities and initiatives, and it was shocking to me how, with the potential that blockchain technology has, and more importantly, I grew up playing CSGO, and I had so many players that I paid millions of dollars for, sometimes buying, sometimes I sold for millions of dollars in this game Counter-Strike. And I saw how people trade skins, and I saw how people, trade these digital items. And I was asking myself, when is it going to be the case that, publishers are going to come and start using this blockchain technology to, Web3 in general, to make these games, appealing games, appealing blockchain games? And that was always in the back of my head. As I was exposed to a lot of these opportunities in G2, it was never something I could get my hands in full into, because at the end of the day, our core business was Web2. Our core business relied in League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six, Rocket League. These are all games that, of course, are not blockchain games. And so I had to keep my hands a bit off of it. But now, after no longer being operationally involved in G2, this became an opportunity. And as I was exposed to these and other projects, as you can imagine, many people bombarded me with 1,000 projects. Why did I choose Shiba Saga? Well, ultimately, I saw a lot of things that were very unique from Shiba Saga. And I will explain to you, before I get into those things, what we're doing at Shiba Saga. At Shiba Saga, we are taking already existing, incredibly successful games. Candy Crush, Angry Birds, Subway Surfers, you name it. And we are reimagining them. In this case, within the Shiba ecosystem. I'll get later as to why. Adding even more features into these already existing games. And something that, well, there's a few things that caught my attention. Number one is that most of the projects, and when I say most, I really mean 99.99% of the projects I've been exposed to within blockchain, within Web3 in general, blockchain games projects, they are raising money from the people to develop the games. Whereas here, even before the token is launched, we have already the first game developed. And I don't want to say more, but there's more than one game developed and in development. So that was point number one. Point number two is that the actual business, the actual concept behind this specific token having a long tail is very interesting, because every 6 weeks we will be, inshallah, releasing a new title. And that happens for a total of a year and a half. So that's a total of 14 titles, right? That we are developing, reimagining, and adding new features to make them considerably better. By the way, there's somebody that has the microphone unmuted, and it's actually, I can't focus. Actually, I can focus. But I'm lying to you. I can actually focus. I can do anything. I can do many things at once. Okay. So yeah, that's another point that I'm really interested in. Or I was really interested in. And yeah, to get down to the AMA itself, we have a lot of questions. I'm going to be choosing some of them, and some of them will touch into, some of the reasons why Shiba Saga is a project that I really trusted in, and I believed in, and I believe in full. Why I chose Shiba Saga to deploy my mind space, my know-how, my network, and my operational excellence that I've been able to build throughout the last many years in the world of video games. And yeah, ultimately to hopefully not only entertain a lot of people, which is at the end of the day what I want in my head. You know, it was always my dream, or it's always my dream to entertain people, whether it's by scripted content, semi-scripted content, documentary style content, video games that I partake in the development of. Ultimately, entertaining people is in my soul and has always been in my soul. That's why when I was a professional player, I never played 100% to win. I played to entertain. That's why when I was a professional player, I never 100% focused on my competitive career, but also on my streaming career. You know, so it's in my soul to entertain, you know, and that is goal number one. Of course, goal number two, hopefully a lot of people make a lot of money, you know, and that would make me also very happy. Yes. And just to get into the business side of things, Shiba Saga has, as a concept, something very interesting, which again I found very interesting. The profits of Shiba Saga are not aimed towards paying dividends to the token holders, but actually to increase the token value by doing the following. 15% of the profits are going to purchase the Shiba Inu token and burning it, which of course is a very smart thing to do. Why? Because everybody loves the Shiba Inu community. It's one of the most, if not the most engaged community in the world of crypto at the moment, relative to the size of the coin, right? And that will by itself make a meme coin a little bit more valuable just by us simply existing. This, of course, will make the Shiba Inu community hopefully embrace us with open arms, which we are already seeing in terms of the impact, in terms of the overall desire for this community to partake. And now 85%, so the remainder of the profits, 85% of the profits are going to be towards buying Shia, which is our own token, and burning it. Therefore, decreasing supply and hopefully increasing price, also increasing the token value as a result, right? So if you combine all of these things together, this is a project that makes a lot of sense. And it's a project that can lead into many more things in the future. We have the Shiaverse, right? Which is a kind of metaverse where you will be able to showcase the digital assets that you own within that world, within that realm. We will get into more details very soon, but this is all in development. Many of these things are fully finished, which is unheard of in the world of crypto, as you guys might know. We're filled with meme coins, we're filled with shit coins, we're filled with projects that, frankly, they're just there to make a few people a lot of money, but there's no concept that gives the project a long tail. There's no concept that makes sense. There's no concept that if I fast forward 10 years, there's a chance this project is still alive and kicking. This one is completely different. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's a pretty good rundown of my background, pretty good rundown of why I chose to be in this group with you guys and in Shiba Saga. And, you know, frankly, I've put 17 years of my life into building a name, a credibility, a reputation in the world of video games that has allowed me to walk into any room knowing that I can say anything and people will respect my word. And I have only done that through choosing the right projects to take part in. Number two, with focus. And number three, through hopefully logical decision making. And I know for a big portion of my community, you guys know the gaming community in Web2 is very, they demonize crypto, they demonize NFTs, they demonize Web3, and they demonize anything that has anything to do with this world. And I have always thought they were being ignorant. But at the same time, I cannot ignore the fact that me taking part in a project like this will undoubtedly, in the short term, have a negative take on my name. Why? Because this community is very prone to judge before something is shown. It's very prone to judge before it's just too early, you know, judge too early and too harshly. But I'm still here, you know. And do you think somebody that has spent 17 years of his life would throw it all to the garbage for something he doesn't believe in? No, I've never done that. and I will never do that. So here I am, and hopefully I can, alongside my team and the team that is putting a lot of effort into making this project successful, make this the most exciting project, not only for a year and a half, but for much longer, for many years to come. Yeah, what else? I mean, now I think it's good moment to get into some questions. I don't know how long I'll be here for, but I'll see. If I feel myself like I'm entertaining myself with my answers, I might stay longer. Okay, I cannot read the chat right now. I cannot read no chat. What's up? But yeah, always good. But I have the guy that's doing lights for me. Okay, his name is David. Okay, so he's family to me, but he's doing science. He doesn't fucking know that I'm doing a live stream, it seems, because he continues to piss me off. What games are you willing to? So as I said, there's 14 titles in the pipeline, a few of which are either already finished the development or in the late stages of development or in development, right? So we have a full team of developers working on those. Games like Candy Crush, games like Subway Surfers, games like Temple Run, Pac-Man, the Angry Birds, the list goes on. We have intention as well to have some games that could have some competitive matchmaking system. We're still thinking this through, and definitely those not in development, but I can see in the last stages that being the case. Why? Well, my background is also esports, video game competition, and I think it would be a very good opportunity to have a few of the titles, allow people to compete against each other in some capacity. Now, yeah, I think that should answer your question. Any difference between doing business in esports, gaming, and other areas? Well, I think that doing business in one area, even if it's like real estate, or even if it's like, I don't know, financial services or legals, I think that a lot of the skills required to be successful in one vertical carry over into many other verticals. I'm not saying all of them, but definitely many other verticals. So what I have seen, and I have more businesses than just G2 Esports. I own more businesses than that, and I have been operationally, and I'm operationally involved in a couple of things beyond what G2 was doing, right? And I can tell you already that even the skills I learned as a player, have taught me valuable lessons and skills that I could then deploy into businesses. So imagine the skills I would learn in one business would also be able to be deployed in other businesses. Ultimately, we live in an attention economy, and the way in which you entertain people varies for an entertainment company. Sometimes you're a video game developer, sometimes you are TV station or a content distribution platform, or sometimes you're a content creation agency, whatever it is, or a talent agency even. At the end of the day, you just want eyeballs. You just want to pay as little as possible and get as many eyeballs as possible as exchange, right? And that's something that, of course, I bootstrap my company, G2 Esports, like I told you. I put my money in there. I learned to swim without knowing how to swim, and I learned those lessons, and I thankfully continue to deploy them into other businesses. Let me see. What has been the determining factor to launch your career as a successful businessman? First of all, I wasn't always successful. I've lost a lot of money, and I don't think that you can be successful if you're not unsuccessful first, So yeah, at the beginning of pretty much everything I touched, it didn't really that successful, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars at first. Then I've taken decisions that have made me lose millions of dollars at some points. And that just comes with the territory, You cannot just succeed right off the top. But the determining factor to launch a career as a businessman, not successful businessman? Well, I think that people are born a certain way, just like ants. You know, I think people are born warriors, soldiers, or some people are born very good at executing orders. Some people are born caretakers. Some people are born leaders. And I think that you cannot teach someone to be an entrepreneur at heart. And I think that I do have the gene that forces me to be an entrepreneur. Like, the one thing you cannot take away from me is my ability to, not my, yeah, actually, if you take away from my life my ability to conquer, then I would be very unhappy. Really, really unhappy. Like, I don't know what I would do. I think you can take away everything from me except two things: my ability to conquer and my brother. And I will figure things out. So yeah, I think it was in my genes, and I eventually just naturally fell into the creation of businesses, naturally fell into the investment of my money. Instead of buying beautiful things, or instead of buying myself nice lunch, I would just invest it in my businesses. And eventually, look, it paid off. I'm very happy, Thankfully, with my business, with the businesses I've taken part in, if I wanted to, I don't need to work ever again. And I would still be driving supercars in perpetuity until I die. And that is just the reality of the matter. I don't think I would have ever been in this position if I would have played it safe. How to attract fans in esports? Main factors in building a fan base. Well, I mean, just like always, you gotta make people interested in what you're doing, whether it's esports, whether it's you're building a bakery store. You always need people to be interested in what you're doing. And I always say, I think I'm so good at creating, I think I'm so empathetic. I think I'm so good at reading people and understanding what they want, that by nature, anything I create on a long enough time frame can become or will become relatable enough to be successful. I could sell baklava tomorrow, and in a long enough time frame, I will have tens of millions of fans that love my baklava and will be purchasing it around the world. So I am thoroughly convinced of that, and I think the same applies here. If you met Carlos from before G2, what would you tell him? Nothing, because I'm happy with where I am today. If I would tell him something, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today. But today, I'm in the perfect position. I have everything around me. Honestly, I'm very happy, really. I have my brother. I have a healthy family. I have a healthy, beautiful, well-educated son. I have more money than I can spend. I have a lot of things to conquer, left to conquer. I'm 32. I have all the life in front of me. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I never get sick. And when I do, it lasts 1 hour. I mean, what else can I do? I mean, this is like, I wouldn't tell myself anything, because then I wouldn't be where I am, maybe. Why Shiba? Aren't you afraid people might associate you with shitcoin Shiba Inu Sina? So here's the thing. I don't have anything against shitcoins. There's nothing inherently wrong with shitcoins. Ultimately, if people believe in something together, and if people want to go to a community and play around with some of their money, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be fair. I think there is something wrong with misleading people, definitely. I think there is something wrong with creating something and create a perception that something that is a shitcoin, it's not. That is very bad. But I don't think there's nothing inherently wrong with shitcoins. As long as the community just has fun with it and memes around, and there's nothing wrong with it. Dogecoin, there's nothing wrong with it inherently. Now, the perception of Shiba Saga, obviously we share the name Shiba with Shiba Inu. And we share the fact that part of our profits go into making Shiba Inu as a token, as a coin, more valuable. By us inherently existing, we make Shiba Inu worth more. That is not only a very smart business decision, because you get a specific community riled up and happy, rooting for you to succeed. But secondly, they already did all the marketing for us. Shiba Inu exists. Everybody talks about it. Now there's Shiba Saga. There's a lot of marketing dollars we don't need to spend. People will talk about us just by default. I don't care that they perceive this as close to that, because anybody that knows anything about crypto, anybody that is not ignorant and knows a little bit about crypto will know that these two things are very different, very separated from each other. And while one, it's true, doesn't have a lot of inherent value because there is no use, the other does. And yeah, I would not put my name in a shitcoin. That's simple. Let me see. Is the team open to working with UFC fighters, influencers, etc.? Yeah, I mean, because a lot of crypto projects do work with known influencers like this, but many times it's not done correctly, and I think that they just throw money to nonsense. But I know what we have done, are doing, and will be doing pertaining working with key people that not only will push the total, but actually it's okay, I can't talk, I can't tell you shit. But yeah, stay tuned, okay? We're not retarded. Isn't $0.04 per token a bit high for a pre-sale? What the fuck you want me to tell you? I mean, I've invested my money into this as well, okay? And my money and the money of my brother, whom I do everything with, is invested into this. So if you lose money, so do we. I think it's priced correctly, but we will only know with time. Time will tell if we are right or we're wrong. All I can tell you is that we believe in the project. The project as a business makes absolute sense. I don't think there's projects like this out there in the market. And if there are, they don't have the marketing prowess that we do to get out there and become, inshallah, hopefully, a 7 billion market cap token. I think this has the potential to accomplish this and even eventually surpass Shiba Inu. I think this is very possible. And if that is the case, then, buddy, you will be very unhappy of not buying in at 0.04. But this is not financial advice. Do whatever the fuck you want with your money. What value do you estimate in 6 to 12 months? That's a stupid question. I can't tell. Shit question. What's the investment company these days? Any long short-term plans for your share of G2? Mostly interested in your own companies these days or outside of the stock, in the stock bond market? Yeah, I don't do stock market and stuff like that. I have my own ways. Actually, I do stuff in crypto as well. My portfolio in crypto is I like to think is very strong. I've been making very good money for now a long time. We have a good portfolio that we continue to make better. So my wealth is doing very well. And yes, of course, I own a big percentage of G2. I can't disclose how much, but that percentage I want to make me, that percentage alone will likely make me a billionaire. So a part of me wants to sell it. A part of me wants to keep it. But like I said, I can't really physically, unless I buy fucking Bugattis every week, I can't physically spend what I thankfully earned in my career alongside my brother. We'll see. But definitely, I will not be operationally active in G2. It's not my interest. I've done this for the longest time, and now I'm having fun with other things. Shiba Saga. Looking back in hindsight, is there one decision you regret making? If not, what are the valuable lessons you have learned from your journey as a player and now with all the life experiences? So as I said before, I don't regret really. I mean, again, I don't regret anything because I wouldn't change anything that I have done, including the mistakes, because the mistakes make the person I am today. And today, I'm very proud of myself. So those mistakes needed to happen for me to be proud of myself today. But some valuable lessons. Keep your circle very close, very small, and very diligently curated. That's number one. Number two, take logical decisions even when you're emotional. And if you're too emotional to take rational and logical decisions, then don't take those decisions. Delay them. Number three, if you're asking yourself whether you should start a business, chances are, and you don't do it, chances are you don't have the gene to be an entrepreneur. Number four, not everybody is fucking Alexander the Great. Okay? And if you are not Alexander the Great in your spirit, if you are not born with those genes, with that DNA, then you trying to be Alexander the Great and be a leader will only make you unhappy, unfulfilled, and unsuccessful. I know people that are more successful than me. They are overly structured. They're almost like a lawyer. They are not creative. They are not fun. I would not drink a beer with them. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but if I would, I still wouldn't drink a beer with them because they're fucking boring. Okay, I would never buy anything from them. Sometimes I would ask myself, how is this motherfucker so successful? Well, because he embraced who he is. He knows who he is. He takes orders really well and executes them really well. He's very organized, very structured, very legally oriented. Now he's making hundreds of millions of dollars out of that. And I think that it's not only about money as well, right? If you're a caretaker, it will make you very happy to take care of others. So I think that's a good top 4, top 5 lessons I learned. I will answer one more and then I'll just go swim. Okay? I haven't swum today, and I just want to swim. It's the truth. I could be telling you a lie, but no, it's the truth. I want to take this off, put on my swimwear, and go to the pool, maybe to the sea. You know what? Fuck it. These questions are shit. That's it. I don't answer anymore. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the night, rest of the day, rest of the morning, wherever you are. And maybe we'll do another one soon. But I think this is a good first touch for you to see who the fuck is Carlos. For you to see what is this guy doing here. For you to see what Shiba Saga is about. And for you to get acclimated with a face you're going to see more of. Okay? Have a beautiful one, and hopefully see you soon.